Imagine this. You're on a date. Things are going perfectly. Then you reveal something you think is harmless, but her vibe changes and she pulls away. Sharing certain secrets can destroy attraction and respect instantly. Today, I'll reveal 5 secrets you should never tell your woman if you want to keep her intrigued. Sharing your weaknesses too early in a relationship is one of the fastest ways to undermine attraction. It's natural to want to connect on a deeper level, but vulnerability is a tool that must be wielded carefully. When you open up too soon about your insecurities, you inadvertently plant seeds of doubt. For instance, if you confess on a second or third date that you're unsure about your career direction, or you struggle with confidence, she may start questioning whether you're someone she can rely on in the long term. It's not about hiding your flaws, but about timing and context. Early on, you want to establish a sense of stability and leadership. She needs to see that you're someone who can handle life's challenges. Later, when the trust is solidified, that's when vulnerability becomes a strength, not a liability. Instead of blurting out your weaknesses, reframe them as areas of growth. For example, if you're still figuring out your career, don't say, "I feel lost and unmotivated." Instead, you might say, "I'm exploring opportunities that align with my passions, and I'm excited about where I'm headed." This subtle shift changes the narrative from defeat to ambition. It communicates that while you may not have everything figured out, you're actively working on improving yourself. Women admire resilience, not resignation. Timing is crucial because early vulnerability without a foundation of trust can easily be misinterpreted as instability. Now let's address the topic of sexual history, a subject that often sparks unnecessary tension. Revealing how many women you've slept with is a lose-lose scenario. Whether the number is high or low, it invites judgment. A low number might lead her to question your experience or compatibility, while a high number could make her wonder about your ability to commit. Even if she explicitly says she doesn't care, human nature tends to lead to comparisons and insecurities. Sharing this detail opens the door to mental images, doubts, and unnecessary scrutiny. She might wonder where she stands in comparison to your past partners, and that's a slippery slope. When the topic arises, don't feel pressured to give a specific number. Instead, redirect the conversation to focus on the present. You might say, "I've had experiences that have helped me understand what I value in a relationship. Right now, I'm focused on building something meaningful with you." This answer not only avoids the trap of comparison, but also frames you as someone who has grown and evolved through past experiences. It shifts her focus away from your past and towards the connection you're building together, which is far more important than any number could ever be. The third point is about regrets and failures. Everyone has moments in their life they wish they could undo, but sharing these too early can create an impression of weakness or lack of direction. For example, if you tell her about a failed business venture and frame it as something that financially ruined you, she may see you as someone who doesn't handle adversity well. It's not failure itself that's unattractive, it's how you present it. A story of failure framed as a stepping stone toward growth and resilience can be inspiring. On the other hand, presenting it as a defeat without any lessons learned can make you seem stuck or unmotivated. So how do you talk about failures in a way that strengthens your image? Instead of saying, "I lost everything because of a bad investment," reframe it to highlight what you gained from the experience. You could say, "I learned a lot about financial management and risk assessment from my first business. Now I'm applying those lessons to build something even stronger." This narrative shows that you're someone who learns from mistakes and moves forward with purpose. Timing is also key here. Discussing your failures in a way that highlights your growth should come after you've built a foundation of trust and mutual respect. Past relationships are another minefield when it comes to what to share and when. Diving into detailed stories about your exes can unintentionally create tension and insecurity. For example, if you talk about how much you loved an ex or how intense the relationship was, she might wonder if you're still emotionally attached. On the other hand, venting about how crazy your ex was can make her question your role in the dynamic or whether you're capable of moving on from past conflicts. Even if your intention is to be honest, these conversations can often backfire. When the subject of past relationships comes up, keep it vague and focused on lessons learned. For example, if she asks why your last relationship ended, you might say, "We realized we weren't compatible in the long run, but it taught me a lot about what I need in a relationship." This answer is respectful, concise, and avoids unnecessary drama. Avoid speaking negatively about your ex, as it can make you seem bitter or stuck in the past. Likewise, don't over-glorify the relationship, as it might make her feel like she's competing with a memory. The key is to strike a balance that communicates growth without oversharing. Finally, let's discuss financial struggles, a sensitive topic that requires careful handling. It's not about pretending to be wealthy, it's about demonstrating responsibility and ambition. When you reveal too much about financial difficulties early on, such as being buried in debt or living paycheck to paycheck, it can create doubts about your stability. Women are naturally drawn to partners who exhibit the ability to provide security, not necessarily in a materialistic sense, but in terms of reliability and planning. If she senses that you're overwhelmed by financial issues without a clear plan to address them, it can raise red flags. Rather than complaining about financial struggles, focus on your efforts to improve. For instance, instead of saying, "I'm drowning in debt," you might say, "I've been disciplined about managing my finances and working towards long-term goals." This narrative highlights your resourcefulness and determination, qualities that are far more attractive than helplessness. Women respect men who take control of their situations rather than letting circumstances control them. By framing your financial situation as a work in progress rather than a crisis, you project confidence and capability. Each of these points underscores a common theme: timing and presentation matter. It's not about being dishonest or hiding parts of yourself. It's about recognizing the natural stages of relationship development. Early on, the focus should be on building trust, attraction, and a sense of partnership. As the relationship deepens, there will be opportunities to share vulnerabilities in a way that strengthens the bond rather than jeopardizes it. Think of it as creating a foundation, strong and steady, on which deeper emotional connections can be built over time. It's worth noting that the way you frame these aspects of your life also reflects your mindset. If you approach your weaknesses, past experiences, and current challenges with a sense of ownership and growth, it communicates that you're someone who takes responsibility for your life. This is inherently attractive because it shows maturity, resilience, and self-awareness. On the other hand, if you approach these topics with a sense of defeat or passivity, it can create doubt about your ability to navigate life's complexities. The key takeaway here is simple: less is more. You don't need to share every detail of your life to build a meaningful connection. In fact, the mystery can often be more compelling than full disclosure. When you hold back on certain topics, it creates intrigue and keeps the focus on the present rather than the past. Over time, as trust grows, you can share more about yourself in a way that deepens the connection rather than complicates it. Understanding the dynamics of what to share and when is not about manipulation. It's about emotional intelligence. Relationships thrive when both partners feel safe, respected, and valued. By being mindful of how and when you share certain aspects of your life, you create a space where the relationship can flourish. It's about showing up as your best self while also being authentic and honest. There's a difference between withholding information out of fear and choosing the right moment to share for the sake of the relationship's growth. Ultimately, the goal is to build a partnership based on mutual respect and understanding. By keeping these 5 secrets to yourself early on, you set the stage for a relationship that is grounded in trust, attraction, and shared goals. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Demonstrate your strengths, resilience, and ambition through the way you live your life, and let the deeper conversations unfold naturally over time.